Hello and welcome to the Browns Blitz. Today is Wednesday, July 15th. This is episode number 355. I'm your host, Rod Bloom. Joining me tonight is my brother, Jeff. Hey, Jeff, how are things going?
They're going okay, Rod. 2 weeks to to start a training camp, right? So
I think 2 weeks, yeah.
pretty
Yeah,
soon we'll
that
have
sounds
some real
right.
stuff to talk about.
Right. Yeah, I was going to look that date up beforehand, but yeah, that sounds about right. Actually just over a week till rookies report, vets report 7/28. So yeah,
Okay,
about 2 weeks till everybody's there.
there we go.
We're supposed to be there. Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. So so yeah, let's kick things off with our Blitz beverages, Jeff. If I can
Okay.
get to that spot. I'm I've shifted my studio again here, so always throws
Okay.
me off a little bit. You're drinking something new that I guess I don't know a lot about, but I gave it to you, so um,
Right.
kind of excited to hear how it is. So
Well,
um,
this is from Edge Hill, or I don't know. I guess it's from Edge Hill, a hazy IPA, but it's called a Bureau. So I hope it's good-o.
I hope it
Yeah.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you probably know more about it than I do, Rod, since you gave it to me.
Um, you know, I thought it'd be nice to bring you something that that was up your alley, and honestly, we were in Target down here, and I thought I'll see what they have in the beer section. That was the only non-alcoholic beer that they had, and I
It's
thought I don't think you've had it before,
It
so
says
I got it.
juicy New England style tropical and refreshingly smooth and hop flavored. Well, I can definitely taste the hop. Um, I don't know about the tropical, but I mean, as far as the hazy IPAs that I've been drinking lately, probably the most hoppy.
Oh,
Um, but it tastes good to me. I like a hoppy IPA.
yeah. I don't know if you've. I don't remember you having many that have been real happy, so that's pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Good, good. Glad it's
I got to tell you, I've got probably three more NA beers lined up out in the barn for in the barn fridge for the next few shows that are all new.
yeah, good.
It really seems like the options are expanding rapidly these days.
Yeah, you were. It's kind of cool. You were telling me the story about. I can't remember where you were, but how you told somebody in a restaurant, the manager or something.
Yeah.
What was good, and he was kind of listening to you and stuff because they only had a couple
Well,
couple
all he
zeros
had
on their menu.
all he had was Heineken Zero.
Yeah,
When I asked the server, she said, "Yeah, we have Heineken Zero," and I said, "Well, that kind of sucks." I said, more and more people are looking for zero alcohol alternatives, right?
yeah,
Um, he says, "Well, would you like to talk to the manager?" So he happened to be within earshot, and he said, "What can I do for you?" And I just told him, I said, "There are so many good non-alcoholic beers out now that it's really kind of a shame that you're only offering Heineken Zero." And he said, "Well, what else do you recommend?" So I told him a few things, but I thought the easy one was Mick Ultra Zero. That tastes exactly like regular Mick Ultra. Um, but there's also, and I'll go over this maybe next week or the week after, whenever I get to it. There's also now different versions of Heineken Zero. There's at least two or three new versions of Heineken Zero as well.
hmm.
Um, so I'm looking forward to trying those out. And yeah, it's amazing how far things have come just in the last couple of years.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. Um, Yeah, yeah, it's good to see you drinking beer, regardless of what kind of alcohol's on it.
Well, near beer, but yeah.
Yeah, it's still beer, to see you enjoy the taste, taste
Hmm.
of a beer. So yeah,
Right.
definitely. Well, I think I've probably had this on the show before. It's just it's a Great Lakes Mexican lager with lime, just kind of a summer version of a Great Lakes beer.
Okay.
Not coming in real good because I got the I've got the blur on the background, but
Right.
everybody knows Great Lakes, so just kind of a summer beer. I think I've gone a little heavy in the last couple podcasts, so I'm going to settle into the summer for several weeks. I think now, Jeff.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
got one of those Mexican beers out in the garage that I haven't tried yet.
yeah. They're pretty good, and I mean, there's quite a few of them out there. It seems like a lot of different breweries have them, and they either put a little bit of salt or a little bit of lime in them, and
Yeah.
just it's nice on a hot summer day.
Yep.
Okay, well that's gonna wrap up our Blitz beverages. So so Jeff, we got a couple things we're going to go over because, like you said, it's really a couple of weeks till everybody's in camp, and we start getting some storylines and things going on other than just people talking about trades and suppositions about this and that and everything else. So really not a whole lot of news out there. So we got a couple things tonight. So do you want to go over mine first or yours first? You have a
Oh, go ahead.
preference?
Go
You want
go
me to go
ahead.
first?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just thought that we would take a look at some of the players that are in um, that are in the last year of their contract this year. And I'm not going to go over all of them. I left a few guys off the list because most of those guys are on 1 year contracts and they may or may not even make the team. So what I did, I tried to divide these guys up into um, kind of players in contract years who are playing for a new contract, and players who may not who are either in their contract year or may a couple of them may not be in their contract year, but players who are playing for their career this year.
Yeah.
So, and we'll just kind of see if we agree on the split on this, because some of these guys are pretty obvious.
Mhm.
The players in contract years, some of who knows, could get extended before the season starts, but in no apparent order. Um, I wrote down Ronnie Hickman first.
Yep.
So he's in a contract year. I I feel like he's shown enough that even if he gets less playing time this year, I think he's in a pretty good spot for his career. Would you kind of
Sure.
not feel that way?
No, I
Um,
agree. I agree. Whether it's here or someplace else, I think depending on how he fits with the philosophy,
yeah,
um, the Browns may or may not want to bring him back next year, but I think he'll show that he's a viable alternative, for somebody as a deep safety.
yeah, and Grant Delpit goes right with him. So the Browns really they're two starting safeties from last year.
Right.
They're going to have decisions to make on both of these guys,
Mm-hmm.
and um, I think I don't know about we've talked a little bit about Grant Delpit, and the need to have a veteran around. We've talked more on the trade side, I think, about Grant
Mm-hmm.
versus whether or not he's going to get an extension at some point. Um, I don't know if you could look into the future at all. You know what? what are your thoughts on these two guys? I mean, I do feel like the Browns need some vets,
Yeah.
on this team. And, Grant Delpit's in that, what, 29 or so age group
Yeah. He's
now.
creeping up on 30. Yeah.
Yeah, he's coming up on 30. I mean, he's been a real nice player for the Browns. Ronnie Hickman's probably a couple years younger than that.
Mm-hmm.
It has not done nearly what Grant Delpit's done, for on the Browns yet. But he's been a nice find as a UDFA, to say the
Right.
least. So,
Yeah.
um,
Definitely.
what do you think? What do you think at this point, looking into your crystal ball? What do you think the future might be for these two guys, Jeff?
I can see a world where they're both back next year, but I think more than likely it's one or the other that'll be back next year.
Yeah.
And it really just depends on how they fit into the scheme, which is to be determined. We don't really know exactly what that's going to look like. I mean, I threw out some ideas last week about how I think they're going to play safety, but it really depends on where we are in 27 and who they want to give that money to. I think it probably ends up being an extension for Hickman. If he can show that he can do what Ruttenberg wants him to do on the backside, right? Because it makes more sense to extend the younger guy. Failing that, they may decide to bring back Delpit just for that veteran leadership, like you said.
Yeah.
And again, he brings a lot more to the table. He brings special teams play and leadership, veteran experience. Yeah, but the age thing kind of works against him, right? And the expense.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, it does.
I mean, it's good that the Browns have this flexibility this year to kind of let these guys play it out, and when the dust settles a little bit, they can start to make some of those decisions. But I would think one of those guys will probably get extended during the season.
Yeah, I mean, they have a tendency to do that, before or during the season. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all. And I could see it either way, like you're saying. The Browns are going to have more flexibility salary wise going forward. We know this just because some of the moves they have coming and some that they've already made. So yeah, extending Grant Delpit, in the near future is not like it would have been, a season or two ago.
Yeah,
not as hard.
But I like the idea of both of these guys playing for a contract.
Well, yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Don't non-alcohol beers just cause headaches. James, everything in my life causes a headache. So non-alcohol beers really don't matter. But unfortunately, it's all I can drink.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, beers with alcohol tend to cause headaches too. So what can you say?
If you drink too many of them.
Yeah, that's right. Let's see. We need to get Delpit extended, and let's see, Ward get extension too. And yeah, in a perfect world, I think it'd be nice to have those guys around. But you're playing with a little bit of fire with their ages, Yeah. But yeah, I mean, obviously, I like both of those guys.
I like both of those guys. I'd like to see them be here. I'm just not sure that there's a huge sense of urgency on the Browns front office part to get those deals done right away.
Yeah.
Both of them are under contract for this season. They can afford to just let it play out for a little while.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So Denzel Ward is going to command a number one cornerback type contract. And I think the Browns just have to be careful about making another long-term commitment to him. like because of the injury history. It's not, like you said, James, it's not a ton, but he does tend to miss a game here and there.
Well, and as he as he gets older, you're
Yeah,
a little you have to just be a little bit more careful, and
right,
you know you know what happens with most corners. Doesn't
now
mean
that
Denzel won't be able to play, at a
right
top level for a few more years, but you don't know.
now that Joel Batonio has retired, I feel like Denzel Ward should be the next guy to retire a Brown, a lifelong Brown. Um,
Yeah,
and is he Hall of Fame worthy? That's a conversation for another day. Probably in that same sort of tier as Joel. But
yeah,
I'd like to see him be here through the end of his career. Like we saw with Nick Chubb, everything has to line up.
right, right, and yeah, we'll see because like we've talked about, Jeff, it doesn't just depend on Denzel and how he's playing. In this case, it's going to depend on the team, the record, things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
Building for the future. Does it make sense if you get the right offer? Does it make sense to move him? Things like that. So,
exactly. Yep, yep.
even if he's playing well and looks like he can play another 3 years, it might make sense to move him if somebody comes in with an offer that blows you away.
Right.
So yeah, let's move on. The next guy is Malik Collins. Kind of interesting because he's coming back from the injury, but man, he was a force last year before he got hurt. So, I don't really know what to expect this year because he's also in that same age group as he's. I don't have the
A
roster
little
on, but
older, I think.
he's 30, maybe 31,
Yeah, yeah,
32,
early
something like
30s.
that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, I don't know if he's a guy, especially on the defensive line, that the Browns would give a long-term commitment to. I think he's more a guy they would go year to year with. But man, if he comes back and plays anything like he did, for I don't know how much of the season he played last year. It was probably over half the season, I think, before he got hurt. But
Yeah. It's the last few weeks.
yeah, if he comes back and plays anything like that, I don't know, he's a guy you want to have around. I think I don't
Yeah.
know how you let a guy like that go, but the Browns do have some young guys at defensive tackle.
Right. Right. That's why I think he's more of a placeholder. To get one of those young guys up to speed that can take his job next year. I
Yeah,
mean, I'm a little concerned about him being ready to go early because of the lateness of the injury. So,
hmm
um, but from his perspective, he certainly is playing for a contract. I mean, whether it's
yeah,
here or something else.
absolutely, yeah. And then let's see, we're going. You notice all these guys are on defense so far.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Isaiah McGuire is the next guy. Um, so, and that's kind of interesting because we'll see how much playing time he gets. You'd think there might be some kind of rotation there, but it's kind of a battle to see who's going to be the starter too.
Yeah. Yeah.
At that other end spot.
We talked about all these PPE guys, right? And DeWand being the only guy that they reworked his contract.
Yeah.
McGuire, I think, is the guy that has the potential to actually play on that PPE contract at
Mm-hmm.
3.6 or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think if he is as productive as he has shown glimpses of in the past, they might be comfortable keeping him at that salary.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unlike the other guys who, really weren't going to be able to justify that bump. Cedric Tillman comes to mind. I don't know how he plays on this team for $3.5 million when there's so many young guys that they want to look at, right?
Yeah.
So I think DeWand kind of guaranteed himself some money and a shot. Isaiah McGuire could end up playing on that PPE, but I would say he's probably the only one of those four guys I think that has a shot at playing on that contract.
Yeah, and I kind of feel like with Isaiah McGuire being an edge rusher, those guys always get another shot. So
yeah, I think he would get another shot somewhere.
yeah,
for sure.
I think so. I think so.
Yeah.
But hopefully he comes to play this year, and we get to
well, yeah,
see
with
him play
Miles
well.
gone, I mean, there's tons of opportunity for him to be in the rotation more frequently.
Mm-hmm.
They can split those snaps a little more evenly, and yeah, he's got an opportunity to earn himself extension here, maybe, or a nice contract somewhere else next year.
Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned DeJuan Jones. He's the other guy. I put him in a contract years because I don't think he's playing for his career. He's a guy who would definitely get a shot
Not
somewhere
yet.
else.
Yeah, not yet.
Yeah,
I think
it's too early. Yeah,
just the physical profile would be enough for him to get more chances in the league, for sure.
right. But he's a guy who could definitely earn himself a contract this year.
Well, yeah, I mean, again, depending on what happens with the line and how much time he sees in action, he could turn out to be an important piece if everything lines up for him, So, yeah, I think the Browns initially had him penciled in as the starting left tackle until they went and drafted Fano.
Fano, yeah.
Spencer Fano. Yeah, so told you my brain sucks. I think DeJuan still has an opportunity to be an important piece. But if he ends up for whatever reason being done at the end of the year, somebody will give him a contract just on the promise.
Yeah, I think he could help himself a lot just by doing well in camp, playing well in the preseason, and being named, more or less the
swing tackle.
The swing tackle. Even if he doesn't see a ton of time, I think, whether that's helping him here or somewhere else after the season. I think just getting to that point, coming off the injury, probably the best thing he could do for himself is just make it through a season without getting hurt too. I think that would help his career tremendously.
Right.
So, but I mean, I think he's a guy everybody roots for. Seems like a great guy. Everybody likes him. So, hopefully he has a nice season. I mean, he's a guy we'd like to have around. Definitely younger guy. Definitely could find a spot for him. Either as a swing tackle or someplace going forward on the team. If he plays well and stays healthy. So, those were the guys I had in contract years. So the other guys I have as players playing for their career. So, and the first one you named already, Cedric Tillman. I don't think he's done enough to get much of a look from other teams. I mean, at least he's a big body guy, but man, there are so many receivers around. It'd be tough. I put Miles Bryant here. I don't know. Maybe I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna end up being the slot corner or not. So maybe I'm putting him in the wrong category. I guess we'll see where he ends up. Kind of a tough one to call right now.
Brought in really to compete with Harden at the nickel, right? At the slot corner position.
Yeah.
That's going to be one to watch in camp. Which one of those guys? Because I think they're fighting for one roster spot. And do you go with the more veteran guy? And that's even kind of crazy to talk about because Harden is only a third-year player or something. But yeah, I mentioned last week that I think we're going to see more creative use of three safeties and less slot corner play.
Hmm.
So whichever one of those guys wins the job probably isn't going to get as many snaps as in the past.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, Miles Bryant might be. Maybe I have him in the wrong spot. Maybe he's playing for a contract. I'm not sure, but anyways, it, it's going to be interesting to see how that all plays out. Um,
Mm.
he's he definitely needs a strong showing to making the team and becoming the starter over Harden would definitely prolong his career. Let's put it that way.
Right.
Uh, the next guy is Tevin Jenkins. Um, I think he's got to prove something. You know, so I don't know if he's close to having his career over or not, but yeah, he's. I think he needs to play well, and I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
I
We'll
really
see if
didn't
he's a
consider
starter.
him. Yeah, I didn't consider him. I think these guys like Harden and Jenkins, guys who were basically 1 year free agent signings. They're the kind of guys that tend to float around the league. Um, we love TJ Watt's daddy, whoever it is.
Yeah,
Um,
anybody. Yeah,
yeah. Um, so I don't know that either of
he's
those guys falls into the category that they're trying to save their career this year based on how they play. I think they're both really kind of looked at as just depth pieces for a roster.
Bryant and Jenkins. Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, some
yeah.
other guys I have here probably fall into that same spot then. I've got Luke Whippler on that list. I mean,
Yep.
who knows? He may, um,
Luke Whippler's probably closer to playing for his career right now than those other
yeah,
two guys because he
yeah.
really has not established himself in the league. He's finishing up his rookie contract. There's a couple other guys that are in that same spot. Mike Hall is in that same spot. Where those guys have to play enough this year to put something on tape that makes a team want to sign them next year.
Yeah, yeah,
Or they end up like so many other guys that we've seen on this team that they never get another shot because they just didn't show enough here.
yeah.
I
Well,
mean,
I think Mike Hall has 2 years left on his contract, if I'm not mistaken. I don't
he
think
had,
he
yeah.
plays one
So
goal,
so
but yeah,
he would be a PPE candidate next year,
yeah,
and if he plays well enough to earn that, or gets enough time to earn that, okay, that's good. That means that he's probably going to be around. Um, if he doesn't, um, his career might be done after next year, after this year. I mean,
yeah,
um,
yeah.
why do you bring him back at that point?
Right. Yeah, James. There's a few corners in town that are kind of all fighting for spots. So yeah, the Browns, whether you want to give Andrew Berry the credit or the Browns staff, they have a tendency to bring in guys who can play corner. So I kind of never know who's going to emerge, but I just expect a couple of these guys to just play really well. It just seems to happen every season.
Yeah. Another guy, I don't know if you had him on your list, Rod, that's in that same category, I think on the line is Zach Zenner. Um,
I
he
do not to see.
for a guy who was a relatively high pick, right? I mean, he was a third round pick.
He must have 2 years left too, because he was in the Mike Hall class. He and Mike Hall together.
Yeah, Mike Hall. Yeah, he was right after Mike Hall. Yeah, so
Yeah.
both of those guys would be PPE eligible after this season.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, I'm with you. Zach Zinner may go on this list this year, though. That is a good call. You know, he is probably fighting for a spot as much as Luke Whippler or anybody else
Yeah.
on this team. So yeah,
Yes.
I'll agree with you there. Uh, Players playing for their career. I've covered most of them.
Jamari Thrash is playing for his career also.
Yeah, the only reason I didn't add him is I think he's an RFA. So anybody's under team control,
Yeah.
I didn't put on the list. But
Right.
yeah, most of those wide receivers are playing for their career because a lot of those guys, they just haven't seen enough playing time, put enough film together to get another shot. And wide receiver is a position where it just seems like the skill level continues to go up. The players keep getting bigger, faster, better.
Yeah.
You need to make some hay where you are, or I think it's hard to get another shot.
Sure.
Unless you're the big bodied fast guy, and that's not most of these guys. Most of these guys are not going to get another shot. The guys that are 5'7", 5'8", weigh under 200 pounds. These other teams are going to bring most of these guys in if they don't do well here.
Yeah.
So I've got two other guys I want to talk about then, Jeff, and then we're going to get over to your part, and that's I've got two of the quarterbacks, and that's Deshaun Watson and Shedeur Sanders. I feel are both playing for their careers and kind of in a sense. And is it possible that they're both playing for their careers in the same year?
Yeah, I didn't really have them as well. Watson is playing for his career as a starter. Just because of all the baggage that he brings, I don't think he's going to get another shot as a starter.
Yeah.
But what he could prove this year is that he could be a veteran backup or veteran bridge for another team next year. So from that perspective, from that perspective, he is playing for his career at some level going forward. If he plays well enough this year to show that he could be that veteran, he could conceivably spend another 5 to 10 years in the league in that role. But he's got to prove he can stay healthy and actually contribute. Yeah. So yeah, I think he's probably playing for his career in that sense. Shedeur, I don't think Shedeur's playing for anything right now other than, is this the team that's going to let him develop as a quarterback? Because that's really what he needs. He needs time to develop as a quarterback. We as an organization don't know how to do that because we never have. We've never developed a quarterback. I mean, a fifth round quarterback in our organization generally gets 1 year. So for the fact that he's back for a second year, I mean, this is the longest we've ever gone developing a late pick quarterback. So I think if things don't work out for him this year in Cleveland, somebody will still think that they can develop him. Maybe not as a starter again, but as a viable long-term project to be one of those bottom half of the league quarterbacks that just kind of bounce around. I'm thinking of Jameis Winston. He could end up being that kind of quarterback, right? So career, and maybe you're right. Maybe it's kind of similar to Deshaun Watson, that they're both playing for their career as a starter.
Yeah.
If they want to be a starter in the NFL or recognized as a stable starter, not just a spot starter or a bridge guy, then yeah, they have their opportunity this year to prove that. I think the contract situation is vastly different, though.
Oh, completely. Yeah. I think that I think that Shador is just in such a spot that it's not even that he has to play perfectly or anything like that, but what it comes down to is he would have to play well enough to convince the Browns not to draft a quarterback in
Right.
27.
Right.
For him to keep the starting job, or at least keep it, for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because he could play decent, and they're like, we need somebody else, and they draft somebody, and sure, they keep Shador and he plays in 27 or whatever, but they're grooming the next guy to take that job.
Yeah. I still think you're going to need a veteran quarterback in 27. And it could be one of these two guys that we're talking about. It could be somebody else that we don't even haven't thought about at this point. So could Shador potentially fall into that role? Sure. I think Deshaun Watson could potentially end up in that role as well. They both have, I think they have equal opportunity this year to
It feels that
try
way.
to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I've got a few other guys, but nobody big. So let's get on to your segment, Jeff. Hold on just a second here. Let me see here.
Yeah. Another comment?
No, I go to let's see here. There we go. All right, we're ready. I don't know if we've used that yet. I just thought I'd throw it up there just
new
for
banner.
Fun.
Nice.
Right. Yeah.
So we've been talking a little bit lately about rookies and who we think will exceed expectations. Our early season predictions, things like that. I just thought it would be interesting to do a look at the veterans, and try to project who will exceed expectations and who will fall short of expectations. And originally I was thinking we were going to have a guest tonight, but he apparently has explosive diarrhea.
Well, he didn't tell me what he has, but we hope he's feeling well, and
I hope he's doing
getting
good.
better. But yeah,
so
said,
just as a sidebar, make sure you're washing your fruit and your lettuce and stuff. This is a 3 up, 3 down for me. 3 guys who are veterans that I think will exceed our expectations for them, and 3 veterans who I think will fall short of our expectations for them. And then I'll get your opinion. Maybe we'll just do this alternate, Rod, where I'll give you one, you give me one. Okay. So the first guy I think that will exceed expectations this year is Quincy Williams, the linebacker. I believe he will fit really well with Carson Schlesinger. Plugging him into that Devin Bush role, I think there's tons of opportunity for him. And based on his experience in the system, I think he's going to be a lights out player for us. So I don't know if that's exceeding anybody's expectations. I think maybe a lot of people have those kind of expectations for him anyway. But for me, he could be the home run free agent signing for us this year.
Yeah. So you want me to give you one who will exceed expectations?
Yeah. Who do you think will exceed expectations this year?
I'll go with I'm just going to go with Denzel Boston.
Okay.
Expectations are probably pretty high for Denzel Boston, and he's probably a pretty popular pick. But I just think that he's got a really good chance to be, to maybe be the number one, statistically the number one wide receiver on this team. So I think he may be more than just a red zone target.
Okay. I was trying to kind of go toward veterans, but that's okay. I'll give you that one.
Okay, so I'll take the F on that one, John.
Uh,
This is what
that's okay.
happens. Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay. I mean, expectations would be pretty high for a high second round wide receiver anyway, right?
Okay.
But what you're saying is you think that he could conceivably be our number one receiver that we've been looking for
Yeah,
generations.
I'm just saying in the rookie season, yeah, he could end up being the number one guy this year. I'm
Okay.
not convinced that'll be over the course of the career that he'll exceed everybody else on the team, but this year it
Yeah.
wouldn't surprise me.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, so I'm going to give you another guy who I think is going to exceed expectations on the offense. We've talked a little bit about my vision for the run game, which I hope Todd Monken agrees with. I want to see more from Raheem Sanders this year. I want to see him get at least a decent number of carries every game. 10 would be, for me, would be a good baseline. If he could exceed 10 carries every game, I think he can really do some damage. And I think he can save a lot of wear and tear on Quinshawn Judkins. So I'm going to go out on a limb and say that he's going to win that third running back job. And they're going to build the offense around him as one of the three legs of the stool. Judkins, Sanders between the tackles, and then Dylan Sampson in more of a hybrid third down back type of role. So if Raheem Sanders can end up with 500 yards, I'd be thrilled.
So what do you think the odds are that he would actually get around 10 carries a game? And if he got 10 a game, kind of what do you see the breakdown as, average for the other guys?
Well, I mean, think about how Baltimore approached offense the last several years. I mean, they were really a run first offense, and their backs got a lot of carries.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
not everybody's Derrick Henry, but um, I think if we are trying to do that same thing, we're going to have to split up the carries. I don't think Quinshawn Judkins can take that kind of pounding. I don't think he will have a long career if we put that expectation on him. Right? I'd like to see a more balanced attack between the three guys. So if we can use Raheem Sanders and Judkins in a little bit of a rotation, kind of like we saw with Chubb and Hunt a few years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I think those two guys could replicate what Chubb and Hunt did a few years ago, and I think Quinshawn Judkins is still your feature back. He's still your primary guy. I just think Raheem Sanders takes a little bit of the load away from him in the perfect world.
Yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, we've this organization has had multiple 1,000-yard backs in the past.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not expecting that. All I'm saying is 1,000 for Judkins isn't out of the question, but let's see Raheem Sanders get 500, and then let's figure out how to creatively use Dylan Sampson.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I'll give you kind of a veteran this time. I think this one's kind of easy because I think the expectations really aren't even there, and I'll just go with Mike Hall Jr. I think because he really hasn't done anything yet, so I think people have probably forgotten about him, and I think it's time, especially with Miles gone, that he gets a little more playing time, especially at the beginning. When you're worried about Malik Collins coming back, maybe he gets a little more time out there than he would have. And maybe it's not all stuff that shows up on the stats sheet. but like happens with defensive tackles. But maybe it's time that we start seeing something from Mike Hall, and people
Yeah,
start realizing that yeah, oh yeah, maybe that wasn't a bad pick.
I I like that one a lot. I hope you're right on that one.
Me
Um,
too. Me too.
I mean, I think he's the guy that really needs to step into the opportunity, um, for all those reasons you mentioned, and he's just got to be healthy and be available.
Yeah.
There's going to be plenty of opportunity for him. Yep. Okay, my last guy that I think is going to exceed expectations, and I put this guy on this list only because the expectations for him are so low already. Um, but I'm looking for a bounce back year from Jerry Jeudy. I think
Yeah.
he is really playing for his next contract this year, even though it's not technically a contract year for him. Um, he is really playing for his financial future in the NFL. He needs to prove that season before last is the expectation, not last season. That's the norm, right? That he is 1,000-yard receiver in this league. He's got every reason to play well, and so far he has seemed like he's interested in doing that, with all these young guys around him, and they could certainly use the leadership. So I'm going to put my money on Jerry Jeudy. I hope it's not fool's gold, but I think there's a good chance that he bounces back and gives us a season similar to what he did in 24.
Yeah. So you want one more from me, right? Somebody who will exceed expectations. I'll go with. I think maybe we get a maybe we get a bounce back year from. And it's funny to say, but maybe we get a bounce back year from Corey Bojorquez. He's a vet, and we were a little disappointed in him last year. He didn't do real well, and maybe he comes in with a purpose. I'm hoping. I mean, everybody loves the guy and what he's done.
Yeah.
I'm hoping it's not just age creeping up on him, but we'll see. I would love nothing more than to see a resurgence out of
Sure.
Bojorquez. So yeah, I'll go with him.
Okay. Yeah. No, that would be fun because
It would.
He's been our MVP in an awful lot of games recently.
He has.
Okay. All right. So now the other side of the coin, 3 down. Who do we think will fall short of expectations? My first one you already mentioned. Malik Collins had a amazing season until he got hurt last year. It's going to be really hard for him to replicate that again this year. We really need, as you said, Rod, guys like Mike Hall and some of the other guys in the depth pieces to step in and prove that they can take snaps away from Malik Collins, because I'm afraid that the tank might be getting close to empty, and
it's possible. Yeah,
it's going to leave a big gap. We saw what happened at the end of last year in the run game. Stopping the run was not a thing of beauty. So, I mean, we need him to play well. I just don't think my expectations for him are anywhere close to what he did last year.
Yeah. This is a tough segment for me, Jeff, because everybody knows I'm the optimist. I when I'm coming up on the season, I think everybody's going to do great and all this, and then when somebody doesn't, I'm like, oh shoot,
well, that's it.
It's going to be a good season,
right?
Yeah,
I'm not asking you for 53. I'm only asking you for 3.
3, yeah. Gosh, yeah. Well, if I'm kind of leaning toward that slot corner position, whether you want to go with Bryant or Harden, whoever might win that spot. That maybe there's just not enough there, and the Browns have to compensate, with the safeties. Whoever wins that spot, I just I can see that being a weakness on the team, without calling either one of those guys out specifically right off the bat.
Yeah. Well, okay. That was a weakness last year for sure. And
yeah, not easy to not tough to predict that one.
Yeah, if they don't fix that this year, we could be in for some tough games to watch.
Yeah.
Okay. This one might surprise you a little bit. I am not sold on Titus Howard at right tackle. I think the Browns gave up a lot to bring him in because that's where they started.
Yeah, first guy.
New line,
yeah.
right? Mm-hmm. To build a new line. And free agent tackles and tackle availability, we know it's just not something that there's a whole lot of depth in. So they kind of overpaid to bring in this veteran for the right tackle spot. I am not convinced that he is even a midterm answer there. Certainly not a long-term answer, but I'm not convinced that he sticks there throughout the season. And I'm not just thinking about injury, or I'm just thinking performance-based. I hope he has a great year, but just looking at his history, he's probably the weak spot on the line in terms of what we're going to need to try to patch first.
Yeah. It could be. So you need another one from me? Is that how this works?
just one more, and then I'll give you my last one.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking of going offensive line, but I just don't want to say the guy I'm thinking because I'm not going to predict that. I'm just not. Yeah. I got a hard time betting against anybody on defense. I really do. These and you want veterans too, so that kind of eliminates a lot of guys on the offense. Well, I'll just throw it out that I don't think that Deshaun Watson will live up to the press's expectations. Let's put it that way.
All right.
I don't know who else to say. So I still have a hard time believing that he's going to be able to play.
Okay.
I still have a hard time believing it. So
this is why I'm the voice of reason. Because the reality is like you said, not everybody is going to have a career year. And this time of year, we talk about all these players based on their ceiling.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if Deshaun Watson does this, if Shedeur does that, if the offensive line plays together, if the defensive line comes together minus Myles Garrett, if our secondary, so it's all the ifs, right?
Yeah.
We have to digest what the realities are based on how we think the season's going to evolve. And Deshaun Watson is a safe bet because of his track record, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I mean, he's shown us nothing in 4 seasons to make us believe that he can play like he did in 2020, even a
Right.
little bit. Right.
Right.
So yeah, so I think for sure that's a safe bet. Um, I think, Malik Collins is a guy who could could replicate last year's season. The odds aren't great that he will, though. Right.
That's possible. Yeah.
Right.
But yeah.
Titus Howard could end up being a very solid right tackle. He could be the new Jack Conklin, who just really is a tremendous free agent signing that brings stability and veteran leadership to that spot, and we just don't have to worry about him. That would be great, and barring injury, right?
Yeah.
Um, I just based on his history in league again, I'm not sure that that's a high probability that that's going to happen, right?
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
the last one, and this is going to piss off a lot of people, because this is the guy that everybody loves, and I love him too. Okay, but I have to look at the realities of who he's competing with for opportunities and what the defenses are going to do in response to him. And the guy who I think everybody is overestimating his rookie season is Harold Fannin. Harold Fannin is more than likely going to have a much less eye-opening season in his second year. Doesn't mean he can't be a top tight end in this league long term. I think he will. I just think it's going to be real hard in 2026 for him to get as many targets as he did last year, because the talent around him is a lot better.
I think that's true. Yeah.
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 And I think defenses are going to be keyed on taking him away. If you're watching film of the Cleveland Browns and you're an opposing defensive coordinator, what worries you right now? We're going to stop Quinshon Judkins from running, and we're going to take away Harold Fannin in the intermediate routes, right? That, especially early in the season, is going to make it tough sledding for him. He's a tough guy. He's
Oh
going to
yeah.
get his opportunities. He's going to make his catches, and he's going to get the tough yards and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I just don't think it's going to reach the same level that it did last year for all of those reasons.
Well, I think that makes sense more from the, I don't know how the other teams are going to play coverages. Yeah, it makes sense for them to put more emphasis on Fannin, especially early,
Right.
because I think Concepcion and Boston and Judy, these guys have to catch the ball. They have to get open and they have to catch the ball.
Right.
When that starts happening, then Fannin's going to be open more.
Right.
And
Right.
the ball's going to get spread around, but whoever's playing quarterback is not going to throw the ball to Fannin all the time if these other guys are getting open too. So, it just makes sense numbers wise.
Right.
Because last season, there were not a lot of other options to throw to most of the time. It was pretty much Fannin or Judy. Njoku when he was playing, but Njoku didn't have a great season. So yeah. Ideally, the rookies are going to do well, put up some numbers, and yeah, maybe the Browns don't have 1,000-yard receiver this year, but maybe they got 3 or 4 guys that have 600-800 yards, which would be great. So, they're really moving the ball.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing that bothers me about this is that I'm talking about 3 guys who we are counting on to be answers. We have a lot of questions already, right? These 3 guys are supposed to be answers. We're supposed to have known commodities with these 3 guys. I think all of them will approach our expectations. I just think it's going to be hard for any of them to reach or exceed their expectations. What we think we've got with them.
Yeah.
I hope I'm wrong. I hope all these guys go out and play like Pro Bowlers, right? Um,
I hope so.
I know based on history, though, that some of them won't.
Well, that's true. I mean, just look at the offense. You know, you have 5 new starters on the offensive line, most likely.
Mm-hmm.
You've got 2 new wide receivers. You've got a new tight end 2
Mm-hmm.
and 3. You know, when they're out there.
Yeah.
You know, and you know that's 7, 8 new guys out there on offense
And
for
you're
a lot of the
totally
snaps.
unsettled at the quarterback position.
Yeah, yeah. You can't expect everybody just to go out there and to all of a sudden play cohesively and like a team right off the bat. You know,
Right.
it's going to take a little bit of time, and we just have to see what happens. But yeah, these guys aren't all going to go out there and play like Pro Bowlers all season. But the problem is, yeah, we can talk about it. We don't know who's gonna play great and who's not. But that's why it's fun to talk about.
Yeah, and you know what? As I said, this presents opportunities for a lot of other players. You know, if Titus Howard struggles, maybe he ends up at guard. He's got some experience at guard. Maybe he
Yeah,
can settle one of the guard positions,
yeah,
and it gives DeJuan Jones a chance again at right tackle.
right,
Okay,
right,
um, or maybe Austin Barber's ready sooner than I even think.
right.
Okay, um, but it's not necessarily a bad thing that he doesn't come in and set the world on fire at right tackle. Okay. Like you said, Malik Collins, if he struggles or misses games or whatever, we're putting that opportunity on a silver platter for Mike Hall Jr.
Yep.
Go out and prove to us that what we've been waiting for is still there, and you're going to be able to live up to the expectation, right? Um, I think there's going to be a ton of opportunity at tight end in Todd Monken's offense. You've
Yeah.
got you've got 2 rookies that will have different roles probably, um, but you're going to have 2, maybe 3 tight ends on the field at the same time. A lot, you know. So even if Harold Fannin doesn't pull down those big numbers like he did last year, if our offense is functional and we're winning games, everybody's going to be happy about that,
Yeah. Yeah.
including Harold Fannin.
Oh yeah. I don't think Harold Fannin is about Harold Fannin. He's
Right.
about the team. He
Yep.
definitely gives off that vibe. You know, haven't heard him talk enough. You know, but just by seeing the way he plays,
Mm-hmm.
you know guys like that.
Yeah.
The way he plays, that's a team guy. So yeah,
Right.
yeah. So there's a lot to figure out this season, and I mean for me, this season is about figuring things out and learning. I mean, sure, it's about winning games if they can, but you know, you want to figure out what's next at the quarterback position. But that's really just the tip of the iceberg on this team. You know,
Yeah.
you got spots on the offensive line to figure out going forward. You know, wide receiver. You know, depth at corner, depth on the defensive line, everywhere. So. It's going to be fun to see who steps up and who makes a team and who plays
Yeah.
well, and sure, a couple guys won't play well.
Right. But you know what? There's also the plus side of UDFAs like Ronnie Hickman, like we talked before, that just surprise us.
Yeah,
You know, they kind of come out of nowhere and win a job and play way better than anyone would have thought. So those are always the fun ones to see happen. We won't dwell on the guys that don't get it done. We're just going to be thrilled about the guys who do.
that's right. That's right. That's what we do. All right. Let's get some final thoughts here if you have any, Jeff. Or was that it?
That was it. Wash your lettuce. Don't eat it
Wash your
too quick, though.
lettuce. Yeah. Let's see. All right.
Any other comments tonight?
No, I think our guy got tired, and
All right.
maybe Jeremy had the time wrong. He
Yeah.
was gonna follow us, but yeah, it's all right.
All right.
Yeah,
Good. Well,
we appreciate everybody for listening
one more
tonight.
week.
What's that?
One more week, and then we'll have some real stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we're getting close. Yeah, well, we had a guest this week, but yeah, had a little sickness, so we'll get somebody on next week. Talk about more fun stuff, and before you know it, we'll be talking camp. We'll be making our predictions about the 53. That's always fun, and talking game. So
yep.
Oh, Jeremy.
Jeremy just lurking in the background.
Yeah, just watching. We appreciate you, Jeremy. All right.
All right, buddy.
We're going to get on out of here. So this has been the Browns Blitz. We thank you for listening, and we will catch you next time.